Welcome along to this episode. In this one, we are going to be starting to construct the flat roof at the back of the property on the extension. We're going to be getting in all the joists and making the framework ready for the lantern. There's also going to be a top tip from our main man Peter, and he's going to show you a little hack on how to accurately measure OSB in this scenario. There's also going to be lots of other things going on around the site, general updates, so stay tuned and enjoy the show. Good morning guys, welcome back to another day on site. Right, today, as always, there's loads going on. First of all, out here, you can see we've got the entrance to the house here. We're obviously going to change this door. That door is currently in production. In anticipation for that, Alex and Ian today are going to be getting on with smashing this bit out here. So we're going to leave where you can see the bricks are there. They're all going to be left in situ because that's not going to impede with our steps. Also, the other side of that is inside the house. We don't want to be knocking them down. The concrete that you can see here, so from basically the top of the bricks up to where you can see the door there, that is all coming out. So underneath there's currently a little bit of our section, which I'll show you in a minute, which is holding that up, and a couple of slabs underneath it. So they've obviously just poured straight on top of that, which was fine and has worked very, very well because that is solid and going nowhere. However, we need it gone. So we're going to basically get the big guns on this, get this broke out, get all this area broke out here, and then there's going to be some concrete lintels set in. The concrete wall that we did here and here, they will be built upon to obviously provide a platform in which our rails will go on, our handrail will go on, and our railings which are going to come around here. And then we obviously need to build this up as steps to allow for our lintels, which are going to come across here, and then obviously all be clad and slabbed and look very nice in the end. But yeah, I can explain more as that happens. So basically that's being broke out, lintels going in there. Right guys, so I'm down in the trenches. Basically, as I mentioned before, upstairs, anything past sort of this point here up is all lime render. So we're going to be doing that with we're going to be doing the repairs with lime render up there. Down here is sand and cement. So at some stage they've had this renovated down here with a very, very thick lot of render, which is going to be fun when I'm trying to get over it down here and under here. But what I'm going to do in these patches, so where we've had to put this lintel in here and also where we've blocked up this window, it's exactly the same on that side. We're going to have to just use sand and cement here. It's pointless putting lime render on here when the rest is sand and cement, because you're putting the two different substrates on. There's a high chance that where it meets, you're going to have a crack, because lime is quite flexible. It stays quite flexible. Even though it goes very hard, it can move a lot easier than sand and cement can, which will mean you're going to always have this crack, and it's going to be very obvious that it's cracking around the lintel. So I'm going to put some of this Expomet in there. This stuff goes by many names: plasterer's lath, expander metal, Expomet, whatever you want to call it. It's going in there over that lintel. So I'm just going to get that fixed in now. I've already put some primer over this and all the areas that I'm going to do. And then, yeah, we can just crack on, get it fixed, get it sorted, and get this ready for decorating. Once all the sand and cement stuff's done, I'm going to get some lime stuff ordered, and then we can crack on and move further up the building and get all that done. I'm going to be going under here and get these rendering bits done, at least get a scratch coat on these today, hopefully, because like I mentioned before, this is all sand and cement down here, so I can get that on. I have found a very good product which we're hopefully going to be using to do the patches on here and the lime, but again, when we've got that, I'll show you how that's being done. In here, the plumbers are everywhere. They are down here, they're up there, they're down there, they're everywhere, so that is good. All the first fixes coming on really well. First fix is nearly done on the ground floor and the first floor. Down here, so this is basically the other side of what I've just shown you. You can't see it now because the guys have got this all shuttered off. Basically, because we've got our tanking on downstairs, what that means is when we break that concrete out there, we've got a chance of damaging stuff, which obviously we don't want. We also don't want anything to go down the back of this shutter in, because it will clog up our trays that you've seen around there. And obviously if there's a bit of brick or concrete or whatever sticking out and this gets pushed back against it, it could perforate from the inside. So the guys have basically put this shuttering in place up here, which means it's basically able to be broken out from the top, and then anything that lands on here can be dragged out the way. Alex came up with a very good idea of using a bit of, if you can see in there, a bit of pipe lagging, and then that's basically squished up against it, so that stops anything going down the back of it. And then, yeah, this is nicely protected. Ian is outside. Sorry, Ian, I'm going to just turn your music down a second because YouTube will penalise us for this. Hi, Ian. Hi. Yo. Basically, what we're going to have here is we're going to have a path which is going to run all the way alongside this wall, all the way up to the back. And then when it gets to here, it's going to step down to our patio area where Ian and myself are standing. Our footing for this wall comes out to, is that where it comes out to, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It comes out to about here, where you can see where Ian started digging. So this is the existing footing for that wall, and this one is for that wall. So you just got to basically take a little channel out here, and then from where this is here, to there, sort of square like this, that will be the steps coming down. So they're going to come down that way, and they're also going to come down this way. The reason we're going to bring them this way, although it's going to take a bit more patio area, what it means is we don't have to have a handrail down the side because you've got steps both ways. If the steps just went down that way and didn't come this way, we'd have to have a handrail alongside it, which doesn't look the best. So that's why we're doing that. We've also got a bit of concrete to put in here. If you remember the disaster that was here when we went through the drain is literally there. That is the drain. So what we're going to do is basically concrete this. We're going to shutter off across there, shutter across here. There's already a shutter in just here. So we'll concrete that in there with a load of rebar in to make it nice and reinforced. And then when we can put our slabs on, we can just go straight on top of that. Bit of sand and cement, job done. The rest of it all the way up there can be dug down and hardcored as we would normally would. Boom. Yes, mate. Right, I'll leave you to your tunes now and digging. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another day on site. Right, so today, it's a little bit warmer than it has been. Just a little bit cold, but we can cope. Right, today we're going to start on the flat roof. We've taken delivery from Metro Fixings of these specialist hangers. So these are from Simpson Strong Tie, and they are called a safety fast hanger. What we need to do is basically hook these over our lintel like this. So originally our plan was just to use a standard masonry hanger over the top of this lintel, but then what we realised was we were not going to have enough masonry above that to support the hangers. What you need is 627mm of masonry above a masonry hanger to basically hold it in place, because you don't have these special hooks on the back of a normal masonry hanger. It just sits in there and then the masonry holds it in place. And what can happen is if you haven't got enough masonry on top of it, it can basically cause the hanger just to do that, come out, and obviously cause a catastrophic failure. So these ones are designed to work with literally zero masonry on top. They've literally got these special hooks on the back which hook over the back of that. You can put however much masonry you need on top of it, and it is nice and solid. You can just put your joist straight in this as soon as they're hooked on. You don't need any additional fixing, anything like that. So these are an awesome bit of kit. So this flat roof here is going to have a lantern in the middle. So it's going to be 1500 by 2.4 meters, I believe. I do have the spec in my special folder there. So that's going to be planted in the middle here. All the water which builds up on this roof is going to expel over there, so there's going to be an outlet in that corner. This small piece over here as well is also going to run this way, purely because in there is the downstairs toilet, and we're going to be running our 4-inch pipe out through here in the makeup of the roof, out there through the parapet and down into our 4-inch pipe out there and out into the sewer. So that means that we can't put an outlet in that corner because we're going to have a 4-inch pipe coming out there for the waste for this. So all the water is literally going to run down here, around here and over to there. It's not a very big roof at all, so there's no problem with the volume of water going out through that one point. We can easily make all our falls work as well, so we'll be totally fine with that. So what we need to do now is basically work out, well, we've already worked out where our centre point is here. So that's the centre point of the window, centre point of this window, well, this doorway here, centre point of the lantern, and then we're going to basically work out exactly where our hangers are going to sit. Once we've done all that, then we can get these tapped into place, because by the looks of it, once they go in, they're not moving anywhere. We've set up our laser over there. We know that we need to put a plant on the bottom of this steel, and then we're going to raise these joists up. So that point there on the laser line, that will be the bottom of our timber to run through over to that side like that. So we are going to jack this up slightly, and it will be sat on some 4x2 on top of the webbing of this steel. And then we are going to have a bulkhead in this ceiling area just to maximise our ceiling height and make this opening as large as possible as well. Let's crack on and do it. So we've got this first joist in there. We've done our notch here like so that sits in there, and then we've had to notch this as well, just ever so slightly at this end. What we want to do is basically make sure our plasterboard sails through with a couple of mil to spare at the back of here, so we can just smear some adhesive on the back of the board, and then that will stick to the underside of the lintel here, and then our ceiling will come through seamlessly then right up to the door there. There is about 2 mil discrepancy over the whole span of this, so we are going to have to very slightly alter this notch as we go along, but that is no issue at all, no problem there. Just doing some minute adjustments as we go. Something like this you're always going to expect to do a bit of tweaking here and there, so that's fine. So right, we've worked this out, this all fits nicely, template sorted, that end sorted. We can just mass cut these now, get these all in, and we are good to go. Let's do it.
Question is, yeah, you know, we've got this little bit of deflection here.
Yep.
Obviously, when I go to do my 400 centres,
Yeah.
it's going to be different depending on which side of the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a bit of slack. So what are we doing about that?
So what we need to do, we've got our line here, yeah, where it should be.
Oh, so we're working.
So we're working to this side of it. So we make sure that we're tight on the line like that.
What, a packer in there or something?
Yeah, I mean, ideally what we need to do is get our twist nails in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got to twist nail this to hold it in place. So ideally we want to do that first, really, or at least put something temporary in there for now to hold it. We could maybe put a wedge down the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to hold it in place, and then we can go off that then, and then we know we're quitting.
Yeah, that'd be better, wouldn't it? If we got like a feather wedge or something in it.
Or if we have got the twist nails on site, which I don't think we have, just whack some of them in so then it's done. We're not messing around doing something twice. We can just nail it straight away. We know it's where it's going to be.
And then once we sort this out, we're gonna slide just a small screw into there. So then that'll move, and then we can just shift.
Yeah,
that
we
way.
can carry on then. Then we can start getting perimeter noggins cut, get them tapped in, and it'll hold it all nicely. Good morning guys, welcome back to another day on site. Right, so today the lads are going to be cracking on with the flat roof up there. It's basically just continuing with what we started on Friday. So they're just working now on getting the rest of these rafters in, the rest of these joists in, getting everything nogging down, and then we can start looking at furring strips. We've got a bit of a detail to look at over there, because where this room is here, where our downstairs WC is, there's going to be 2 pipes that come out from the wall, that wall over there. They're going to come out through here, they're going to run across on the inside of the parapet, and it's going to come out here, drop down there into that 4-inch pipe. So we need to have a look at that today with the plumbers, so we can see what height they're coming out at, because ultimately that's going to affect this small section of roof over here. So I need to have a look at that now as well. Plumbers are here today, cracking on with the first fix. The brickies are at the front, looking at the steps, and I'm just going to be running around like an idiot, which is nice. Right, let's crack on and get stuff done.
Right, so this morning we're just buttoning up the OSB roof that we've been doing. We're machining up all the furring strips. We've got a great fall on this. I think it works out to be close to a 1 in 50 fall, which is more than adequate. Usually we recommend between a 1 in 80 and a 1 in 60, so we've overdone it. Just machined in all these OSB boards, left a 5mm expansion gap ready for when obviously as the temperature rises and lowers, we're going to sort of have expansion and contraction. So that's all good. I'm just coming to fit the last bit of OSB boards. Got a little trick for you as well, so if you want to come and have a look, we'll get that done. Okay, so we're coming to fit this last bit of OSB board. Now, one of the problems we've had whilst building this entire extension and everything else is that, as you can see, the thing's been built on an angle. Now, one of the things that's given us the problems is that we haven't really had any decent walls or square walls to work off. So although the extension's good, true, plumb, we've measured to the millimetre, we've still got discrepancies. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm putting these boards in is I like to cut it oversized and get myself a little bit of 4x2. Now a 4x2, it can be any old scrap of wood. Now what I do is I offer my 4x2 up and I put a line here. I offer my 4x2 up, put a line. If I can pass this over to James, he's going to do the exact same thing. Cheers, mate. Flush with the edge, offer up. Flush with the edge, and then mark again. We offer our oversized board up. Put a little offcut there, just so it sits nice and easy. So what I do, make sure I've got an ample expansion gap along the back. As you can see just from the edge of it, this wall's not very straight, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because we do have an upstand to go on. You get your 4x2, hang it on your piece of board, line it up, mark, 4x2, mark. I know a lot of people are going to say you can eye it through from the underside and what have you. This is just a way that I've come up with, because sometimes this isn't always an option. Sometimes you fit in stuff internally and you've got no real line to go off, and this is just a little trick. I like to do it this way because it works well for me, but obviously other people have got their own ideas, would like to hear about it. So same again, we line up with our pencil mark and mark. Line up with our pencil mark. Put a nice little arrow on there because OSB's absolute nightmare to see your pencil marks after you've marked it, as we all know. Yeah, put an X on that. That gives me a point of reference. It also makes me remember what side up it's going on and what side. So another little tip there. Well done, James. Thank you. Bring it over to me, overhang it. Now I'm going to set my rail to these two lines, cut it, repeat the process, and hopefully that's going to be a good fit first time. What I'm also going to do, I'm just going to probably come a couple of mil off the line. The reason I'm going to do that is because once again I've told you about the expansion gap that we need. Over. So once again, a couple of mil back from the line. James, you just grab the blower, mate, because we just want to make sure that there's no sawdust underneath that. Okay, so there's my X. Right, now that's looking pretty good. Just need to trim off probably about 5 mil, but I'm happy with that. And there we go. Nice neat fit. Expansion gap. Now I just need to run my rail across the front, get it all done. Once, like I say, usually when you're doing this on new builds, you can just measure and you know it's going to be right because everything's nice, new and square. This is just something I've come up with because the situation is this is an old house and it's out of square. So this is just what works for me. So happy days, thank you.
Get any higher.
Right guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe. We're nearly at 100k. We need you to get us there. In the next episode, we're gonna have, well, the roofer. He is back on that roof. He's gonna be getting all the GRP system down, and also a massive step forward, the windows get delivered and we start to get them in. So it's gonna be awesome. Take care guys, see you next time.